What's happening, YouTube? So, the Los Angeles Clippers had a really bad loss against the Cleveland Cavaliers. It was understandable, back to back. Cavs are a really great team. We rested Kawhi and Paul George. So, we faced against the Bulls. We came off very sloppy. We were just missing every single shot in the first half. Well, mainly the first quarter. And then the Clippers just came back so quick within 5 minutes in the second quarter, down by 20 points, which is pretty crazy. It's just the Chicago Bulls, but still pretty nice. And then in the second half, it was just a dogfight in general, but the Clippers just ultimately prevail. Um, I don't know, it was rough to see in the first quarter, but the Bulls are known to get really hot in the first half, and then when they have like a big lead, they tend to blow it. So anything can really happen. So I didn't get too mad that we just can't hit any shots. It's just part of the norm of the Chicago Bulls. They get hot and they blow a big lead. Of course, it would be better if we could win in a blowout, but I'll take any win. Hopefully, we're just getting our rust out of the way, and then we face against the Bucks on Thursday. The Bucks are a really good team, so we gotta bring our A game. If we beat the Bucks, that would be one of the biggest W's for this this season for the Clippers at the moment. And anyways, let's get into player by player. Kawhi Leonard. At this point, man, 33 points, 5 assists, 5 assists. That's pretty impressive for Kawhi Leonard. His rebounding night was a little bit low, 4 rebounds, but he got 5 steals and 7 blocks. That is the most craziest thing ever. 5 steals. That does not grow on trees. 5 steals. Man, this guy is all around so amazing. Love his defense and his offense. A two-way player. That's what I consider the best basketball player in the world. People want to say Luka, Giannis, Curry. I respect their opinions, but Kawhi, in my opinion, that's why I consider him the best because he's so perfect, both ends, defense and offense. In my opinion, that's the real version of a perfect player. I mean, some people say whoever can shoot and pass, which is that's fine, but in my opinion, if you get buckets so good, but at the same time you bring in elite defense, like if you get 30 points over 30 points a game, and you have one of the best defense ever. I'm talking about when you can lock up even the best of the best scorers. I can consider that more of all around rather than a guy who just simply could pass the ball, shoot the ball a little bit good, but defense is just average. To me, that could qualify as all around. But what Kawhi is, I feel that's the more all around player. Paul George, he had a quiet 16 points. He got 10 rebounds, so nothing but respect for that. And 7 assists, so Paul George kind of taking a role as a point guard. And, I mean, the assist ratio and the turnover ratio is not pretty good. And I like it better when Paul George just get aggressive and don't try to be too passive. He did mess up my bet money, so a little bit mad about that. But I bet a lot more money for the Clippers to win, so that doesn't matter because I had a really good betting night. Yes, I do bet, if y'all don't know. But Paul George, would have been nice if he at least got 25 points, but hey, a win is a win. Terrence Mann, he was pretty stagnant on offense, but his defense, he definitely gave it his all. His stats, of course, doesn't really make too much of an impact, um, but he's not one of those. He's not one of those stat guys. He's more of the you had to watch him play and all that. Um, Luke Kennard. Luke Kennard had a really bad shooting night, 0 for 6. It was good shots, it's just it couldn't fall in. Nothing too much he could do about that. Ivica Zubac, put some respect to Ivica Zubac's name. I know he didn't do good at all versus the Cavs. the Cavs kind of like doubled him in some possessions, and it was hard to feed Zubac. But in my opinion, that's what the Clippers always need to work on is feeding Ivica Zubac. And Zubac, he got a nice double-double. 12 rebounds, 14 points, 3 blocks. Amazing. And he got quote-unquote cooked by Vucevic, but in my opinion, I think Zubac he tried his effort on playing defense, and it's not like he was just standing there not doing anything. He was literally putting his hand up on Vucevic, but Vucevic was just making it better offense. Good defense, but better offense. Nicholas Batum. Batum was also pretty stagnant as well too, but he definitely contributed on reboundings and steals and assists. So he only got 1 assist, but he brought it. He brought the rebounding and the clutch moments and the steal. So that's pretty important. Robert Covington, he got a low amount of minutes. Somewhat disappointing. Ty Lue in this game felt like Roca and Man maybe could have closed the minutes. At least Robert Covington or Diabate. But Covington, 2 for 4. He only got 1 rebound, but it's only 8 minutes. Norman Powell, he was pretty much the hero of the game. 27 points, 4 rebounds, 4 assists, and 2 steals. He definitely went to the free throw line a lot, so they were fouling him, and that is a pretty good thing. We need our own foul merchant to get them free throws, and Powell pretty much brought the comeback. He should be 6th man of the year. Simple as that. Reggie Jackson. Reggie, I know I love Reggie Jackson, but man, should have been at least like maybe Rocco or Diabate playing instead. I don't know, but maybe Rocco or Terrence Mann was also kind of cold as well too. But Terrence Mann, Kennard, and Reggie was off on offense. But Reggie, he was not really too much of a traffic cone on defense, so I guess that's one of the big plus. He got 4 rebounds and 4 assists, so he did feed Ivica Zubac, so I will give him that. But it was mainly Paul George and Kawhi and Reggie and Powell. They pretty much did the playmaking, and I like how when Reggie fed Ivica Zubac, but his offense was just completely off, and I felt like the lead would have been bigger if Rocco just played during a crunch time because the defense would have been so much better. But we got the W, and that's all that matters. But I don't know. But I'm glad that we got the W, but sometimes Ty Lue's pretty inconsistent with coaching at times. Some days I really like Ty Lue. Some days it would just be like questionable. In my opinion, the game when we lost to the Cavaliers, and I think Ty Lue definitely was doing his best at coaching. He was trying all types of rotations against the Cavs. He did a 3 center lineup. He did Ivica Zubac, Moses Brown, and Musa Diabate, which I appreciated that effort. And nevertheless, hopefully the Clippers keep winning so the Clippers don't make a stupid trade such as trading your first round picks and Boston Jr. and pretty much our whole entire your young players for something stupid like Fred VanVleet or I don't know, for some type of quote unquote third star that would just only help us for this year and mess us up for the whole entire decade. In my opinion, I do not want that. And speaking of BJ Boston, last game he shot really bad in the first half, but then he had a heat check. He went 8 for 11 in the second half and dropped 24 points. Definitely a player that I would definitely keep and do not want to trade. And I don't care what other people say. BJ's a keeper for sure. So is Diabate. But anyways, let's get into the Chicago Bulls. Patrick Williams, he got 6 rebounds, 1 assist, a block, and 2 turnovers. He's pretty much the glue guy for the Chicago Bulls. He's kind of like somewhat of a younger Nick Batum for the Chicago Bulls. Pretty solid piece for them. Maybe like has a higher upside of scoring, but overall, he's pretty much their version of a glue guy. DeMar DeRozan, he was hitting the shots in the he was hitting his shots in the first half, and then fourth quarter he went really cold. He had a whopping 8 turnovers, which is thank goodness. Nikola Vucevic, he had a mega masterclass with 14 rebounds and 23 points. He was shooting like Stephen Curry in the first quarter, but thankfully he cooled off. And it was not really much that Zubac could have really done. I mean, he was always keeping his hand up and everything, but the shot was just falling in. 2 steals as well. Zach LaVine, he had a lower scoring night once again, but he got a whopping 14 rebounds and 8 assists, which is pretty crazy. 14 rebounds especially. Damn. Ayo Dosunmu, 11 points, 3 rebounds, 4 assists. He's like their solid young point guard. Should have drafted him over Jason Preston or Sharif Cooper, to be honest with you. I felt like Ayo Dosunmu could have been our like a Delon Wright or a Walmart Drew Holiday for us. And Sharif Cooper could have been our Cameron Payne or a Lou Will without a jump shot, but with a CP3 playmaking. Either one of those players would have been pretty good for us rather than Jason Preston. Jason Preston, I am not too high on him. I don't mind trading him during the trade deadline, but that's just my personal opinion. And then Derrick Jones, he didn't do much, 0 points and only 1 rebound, and he got a block. Andre Drummond, he only got 4 minutes, but he got 5 rebounds. I'm surprised that Billy Donovan didn't really play more of him because he made an impact. Although he was pretty bad on free throws, so that's good. Like 5 rebounds, damn. Low-key, the Clippers could take him as a backup big if the Bulls are willing to trade him for like pennies. Goran Dragic didn't do anything. Kobe White, a decent 3 for 8, 8 points, 4 rebounds. And Alex Caruso, he was hitting everything, really. First quarter, he was just swishing threes. He was like perfect. Hit 100% field goal, 2 blocks, 2 steals, 3 assists, 2 rebounds, 10 points. Pretty solid backup for the Chicago Bulls. But overall, this was a really fun and competitive game. I know some of y'all wish that we blew out the Bulls, but I'm taking this W. And like I said, on Thursday, we got to be at our A game. And when we beat the Bucks, that would be a really good momentum swing. And, you know, maybe the front office will just think twice before, trading too many players. I mean, only player I'm willing to trade is Marcus Morris, because Marcus Morris is, I don't know, when he's off, he's pretty inconsistent. Reggie, it's a hot spot. I know Reggie did a lot for us, but if he gets moved for some upgrade, I cannot hate that as well, too. Preston and Coffee, yeah, I don't mind moving that, but the rest, in my opinion, I would not really want to move anybody. Maybe Batum or Covington in extremely massive upgrade circumstances, but rest of the roster, I would rather either keep them as a trade piece for something better, such as the NBA draft class for this year, because that's, in my opinion, I would rather go after that rather than just trying to get players right now that has really high value, but I would rather try to buy low on some of these prospects because I believe they definitely have a really good potential. But for now, who I'd really like to go after is probably a guy like a Cam Reddish, because I feel like he'd be really good for athleticism, and he has some pretty good upside too. It's not like he cannot create an offense. It's just the Knicks aren't using him, and hopefully the Clippers try to pry out at Cam Reddish. But anyways, let me know what you think about this game or the upcoming game against the Milwaukee Bucks. Also, let me know what type of trades you think you want the Clippers to do, or you want the Clippers to just keep this roster, or who do you think the Clippers should simply move, or who should the Clippers not move? Um, Personally, I mean, obviously, you know my answer. You know the people that I do not want the Clippers to move, but I would like to hear your opinions for sure. Please don't say trade Brandon Boston Jr. because you know me, I get defensive when I hear that. But if you do think that way, just still feel free to down leave it down in the comments. That could get the algorithm up, and I'll have a fun time chatting with y'all. But anyways, take care. Have a great night, and peace.